I hope the free thinkers are doing well. And if you're not doing well, I'm happy to remind you that you are the most powerful person that you know. You are the most powerful person that you know because only you can create your reality. My name is KathyLaDonna. Welcome to Soul and Vibration. Today is Wednesday, May 28th, and the energies in the day adds up and reduce to number 6 vibration. If today is your birthday, happy birthday. So on a day like today, when the energies in the day adds up and reduce to number 6 vibration, the number 6 is ruled by Venus. Whenever I think of the number 6 energy, some of the things that cross my mind is beauty, romance, family, community, connection, nurturing. Some of the other things that cross my mind is goals, identity to a certain extent, because with the number 6, we could identify with the material realm. Whenever the number 6 is out of balance, it could be meddling, it could be jealous, it could be insecure, it could be unsatisfied, you know? And on a day like today, for some of us, some things can come up where we are forced to question the path that we're on and question our reasons for being. Today is a day where we question our why. Why? What is your definition of success? Why do you do the things that you do? Because with the number 6 energy, this is where some of us could find ourselves feeling guilty for not having certain things that we truly don't even want. Because the number 6 is connected to the material realm. Often the number 6 could reflect how we define success based on material things, how we define success based on how our bodies look, how we define success based on the amount of money we make, the kind of a partner we attract, the kind of home we live in, the kind of community we live in, the kind of people that we know, you know, things like that. And with the number 6 energy, regardless of how much a person has achieved, it's so easy for us on a day like this to feel like we haven't done enough. Because when I think of, say, the material realm and how the number 6 is associated with the material realm, everything on the material realm is constantly breaking down and losing value. So whenever we define our success based on things that are forever changing, we're always going to feel insecure and not enough, because in this moment, you may have gotten the latest phone or the latest car, but before you know it, you know, the value has depreciated because time has gone by and there's something new now. So it's like, are you going to get the newest thing in order to feel successful again? In order to feel enough again? And I feel like it's like that, constantly chasing the carrot that's always pulling away, is what comes to mind when I think of the number 6 energy and how it could influence us as individuals. And with the number 6 energy, like I mentioned, you know, this is where we want to complete ourselves through the material things. But for me, with the number 6 energy, I had to come to the realization that true success for me comes through spiritual and emotional growth. True success comes from spiritual and emotional growth. If I am growing consistently spiritually and emotionally, there isn't anything that I can't have. And I find that the more I grow spiritually and emotionally, I actually want less. Because there was a time when I had all these ambitious goals, but these ambitious goals didn't come from me. They were meant to complete me in some way. And as I grow spiritually and emotionally, I realize that I am complete. I am enough, and I don't need things to complete me. But instead, I want to have experiences. And how can I spend my time in this human experience? What are things that I can get into? What are different kind of experiences I want to have, I want to create for myself? So with the number 6 energy influencing the day, today is a day where you could find yourself in some kind of a social gathering, because the number 4 is a social energy. But for some, the social gathering might be some form of a trigger, as it might bring up insecurities for some of us around our status, around, say, your status around how much money you make, where you're living, the, the kind of partner you have, the kind of partner you want. And, you know, things like that. if we find ourselves triggered today based on material things, it's because we're defining success based on what society wants us to define success by. And if that's the case, we'll always be a prisoner, always feeling like we're never enough, becoming more and more of a slave by buying into things that we really don't even want. I think of the devil card in this moment when I'm thinking about this kind of energy. It's like tying ourselves to a situation, trying to complete ourselves where we don't need any of those things to complete ourselves. But like I said, today's a day that is perfect for redefining success, reflecting within ourselves. What is my definition for success? How will I know when I have achieved it? What will it look like? What will it smell like? What will it feel like? And also too, making sure that our definition for success did not come from anyone else or something else. We didn't hijack or abduct someone else's definition of success because it looked so good on them, or we liked the attention or the recognition that they were getting. And I also like to ask myself, who will be proud of me once I have achieved this goal or this definition of success? Because a lot of the times we're trying to make someone proud. And when we're clear on that, then we can take our power back and become aware of how we're acting, opposed to unconsciously going around or going about life trying to please other people. The day is the 28th. The number 2 is nurturing. It's feminine. It's unifying. It could be dependent, codependent, support bad behavior out of fear of being alone. The number 8 is the CEO. The number 8 deals with education. It's the teacher. It's the student. The number 8 is also the overseer, like the officer. The number 8 could deal with power struggles and misuse of power, and even be a bit cruel when operating in a lower frequency. But 2 plus 8 brings us the number 1. So on a day like today, some of us could be reflecting on new beginnings or the systems that we're in and the systems that play a part in helping us achieve the things that we have. So an example of that for me would look like, say today could be a day someone is reflecting on if they should go back to school in order to make more money. And maybe that was triggered by being invited somewhere and seeing certain things or hearing something. It could be around lack. Some material lack inspires the desire to go back to school. And for me, you could never go wrong for adding value to yourself through education. But it can be problematic if you're looking for it to complete you in a way and you notice a pattern in yourself where you have a whole bunch of degrees, you've incurred a bunch of debt, and you keep finding yourself in this looping cycle where you go to school and you think that you're going to make all this money, and then you get to a point where you keep hitting a certain ceiling and you keep going to school to get past the ceiling. And instead, maybe in order to get through the ceiling, it's time for you to bet on yourself. And like the magician and the tarot, utilize all of the information that you've gotten from all of your years of going to school and all of your different experiences, and take a chance on yourself creating something for yourself. That could be what's next, or what could be beneficial when it comes to the journey, instead of deciding to continue doing the same thing over and over again and looking for a different result. The spirit guidance for today is octopus. And the octopus brings me to multitasking, but the octopus also brings me to like cardinal water. So it brings me to changes in emotions. But when I think of cardinal water, I think of how cardinal water energy could be super psychic, as different emotions are coming in and how they could reflect picking up on different things. But when I look at the octopus energy and I think of cardinal water, I think of the importance of balancing one's emotion. And from balancing one's emotion or becoming more disciplined and taking control of one's emotion, how a person could actually be powerful and do a lot because their emotions aren't controlling them. The emotions aren't getting the best of them. So with the octopus energy and the upright position on a day like today, Yeah, it brings me to balancing the different emotions that might be flowing through a person. Yeah, balancing the different emotions that might be flowing through. And talking about cardinal water, the moon is at 29 degrees. It's 29 degrees in Gemini, which is conjunct Jupiter, which is good because the inner world is in a place where it's optimistic and could be even busybody. It's curious. But it's at 29 degrees, so depending on the time that you see this, it would be in cardinal water sign, which is Cancer. And the moon is at home in Cancer. And when it gets in Cancer, the inner world is in a space where we want to be nurtured by being at home or focusing on our homes or taking care of home and family or reflecting on things pertaining to home and family. But right now, the moon is squaring Neptune conjunct Saturn in Aries. And I feel like the challenge that's being made to the moon is because Aries energy for me deals with taking action and focusing on I. And where the moon is, the moon instead wants to focus on others, other things other than focusing on I. And I feel like the fear from that might be fear of being exposed, fear of being seen, fear of what other people might say is what comes to mind when I look at the square being made to the moon in that way. Where Jupiter conjunct the moon is speaking positively to Chiron conjunct Venus, which is also in Aries, but it's in a later degree in Aries. So Venus is value. What do you value? Conjunct Chiron, I value my wounds. Collectively, we're valuing the things that we've been through. So an example of this would bring me to the thought of how I came across this video where this person was saying how they believe that narcissistic people are here on a mission to wake up the others they cross paths with. And that reminded me of The Matrix, where yesterday I rewatched The Matrix. And I remember when the agent was having a conversation with Morpheus, and the agent was saying how much they can't wait for Zion to be destroyed because as long as Zion exists, that's what keeps them trapped in the Matrix. So even the agent who appeared to work for the Matrix, who appeared to be the Matrix, even them themselves are stuck in the Matrix because without Zion, then they wouldn't be needed. So I think of how, we'll hear stories of how we're all here on this spiritual mission together. And even say the ones who appear to be problematic and causing pain, how those are our teachers. And instead we should be grateful for them because without them, we wouldn't wake up. And I feel that way. I feel I'm grateful for the people that have crossed my path in my life who were problematic, who I felt they cost me a lot of pain at the time, but they came with lessons. And without them, I wouldn't have remembered the truth of why I'm here, who I am, and how strong I am. So with Chiron conjunct Venus and Aries, it brings me to that. It brings me to collectively we coming to a space where we value our pain, we value our wound, because we're saying, because of this pain, because of this wound, because of this emotional or energetic scar, I'm powerful. This woke me up and reminded me that I'm powerful. It reminded me that I'm the one. It's that kind of energy with Chiron conjunct Venus in Aries. And that's speaking positively to Jupiter in Gemini. So I think of, with the moon there, we're coming across information that's validating that. We're having conversations that is validating that way of thinking. When it comes to, a bunch of cards fell, and I'm gonna go with the one that fell on the table. So we have the King of Wands energy in the reversal position. So with the King of Wands in the reversal position, I feel like this king could be so destructive and annoying in the sense that I think of with this king, it's this king's nature to take action. It's this king's nature to have courage and to be brave. But if this king is not doing what it's meant to do, then this king could be the biggest hater because it's seeing others doing what it is not doing is going to trigger something within it. And depending on the person, instead of being triggered and then remembering who they are and waking up out of, that inorganic state of, suppressing themselves. They wake up and remember their truth. Or the King of Wands in reverse, I think of the person that will sabotage others, hate on and sabotage others because, they forgot who they are. And with the King of Wands energy in the reversal position, that could be an energy that some of us are dealing with today, whether we are the King of Wands, killing other people's dreams because we're not bold enough to take action on ours, and killing other people's dreams in the name of being a realist. Or it could be someone who is straight up being a hater, but feels justified in being a hater. Someone who is burnt by other people's confidence, strength, ambition, courage, and things like that. I think of someone trying to humble, yes, I used to cross paths with a lot of people who would try to humble me. And it reminds me of, that king. It's like, who do you think you are, trying to humble others? With the King of Wands, that King of Wands in reverse is like, who do you think you are? Where when that king is in the upright position, I think of the person who cheers on other people who are doing bold things because it reminds them of themselves. They love that. They feel, they live for that. Is that king in the upright position. So make sure you don't allow yourself to neglect your dreams and then feel threatened when others are acting on theirs. But with the octopus in the upright position today, it brings me to the need to, is it mental compartmentalize? It's like keeping space for certain things. Is like organizing emotions or organizing thoughts. With the octopus energy coming out, also, it will bring me to that saying where they'll say two things could be true. It's like something about that is relevant today, where it's like, I think of a situation where it's like, yes, someone could be a hater, but they also have valuable information type of vibe. Or yes, they could be a hater, but they're also helpful. It's like two things could be true is what I'm picking up from this energy. So two things could be true in a sense that, yes, someone could be a hater and don't mean you well, but the creator can also use them to bless you in a weird way. Like I think of the scripture that talks about how your enemies will be your stepping stool. So it's like, that's how two things could be true, where it's like someone doesn't have your best interest at heart, but at the same time, they could also be the same person that helps to further you in some way. So I don't know, I'm picking up something about that with the octopus energy and the King of Wands. It's like your enemy being your footstool. It's like two things could be true. It's like this person could be your biggest op or your biggest hater, but they could give you some priceless information if you're listening. And I'm all for that because I am a student to everybody. I am teacher's pet to everybody, even if they don't even know I exist. Like I am everybody's biggest student, biggest observer, because I know that everybody can teach you something. And I remember one time coming across this girl in the salon, and she was younger or whatnot and felt like she know everything, but mature for her age also. And I remember the person who is in charge, and the person who was in charge at the time, she's a Scorpio, and she's a boss in the sense that she's very entrepreneurial, and she had the salon going, but a bunch of other things also going. And she was so smooth in the sense that she knew how to make people feel seen. Like she knew how to like enter into a room and just shine, but she shined in an Aquarian type way. When I say Aquarian type way, in the sense that Leo will shine just by saying, look at me. Like, look at what I'm wearing. Look at how I'm singing. Look at how I'm dancing. Where I feel like Aquarians shine by the services that they offer. They shine through who they help, by being able to say, I've helped this person or I've helped that. Or Aquarius will shine because they're different. But this lady shined because, like she knew how to make people feel good. She knew how to make people feel seen. she didn't have a problem making it about you in the moment so you could feel seen, so you can shine. And I feel like this girl like misunderstood her and saw her as a fool and would say to me from time to time, this person is such a fool. And I'm like, she's a fool? Like, in my mind, how could you be working in her? How could you be working in her shop and she doing all she doing? And she a fool? And she might have foolish ways, but how could you dismiss her as someone you can learn from when you're working for her? Let's pause for a bit. I am proud of the services that I offer and excited to tell you about them. If it would be your first time booking with me, then I recommend the natal chart and numerology awareness coaching session. For a while, that was the only service I offered, along with the 30 minutes tarot reading, which is still available if you're interested. I noticed the pattern. At the end of the natal chart and numerology coaching sessions, some of you would ask me for a follow-up service options for additional clarity and guidance to assist you with whatever you're going through at the moment. I kept saying, I'll look into it. I don't know why it took me so long. Finally, I have created that option along with the service option to book a solar return chart reading for those of you who are strategic and like to plan ahead. Everything you need to know is within the description box below. Let's get back into the video. That's something interesting to me where, you know, people will sit back and look at the person who is in charge and talk so much ish, but don't got the heart. The King of Wands in a reversal position. Sit back and hate for free. Hate like they're getting paid big money to do it. It's like, how could you hate like that for free? You should be getting compensated for that level of hate. But it's like, it would be wild to me through the years when I would cross paths with people who would sit there and hate on the one who is doing it when they don't even have the heart to do it. They don't even have the heart to try. But sitting down, hating and trying to tear down the one who's doing it. Just wild. And like I said, like, it blows my mind how people would hate like that for free. Like, at least get paid for it. At least get paid for it. If you're gonna be invested in hating like that, at least get paid. But that's normal. You know, you'll come across certain people and they're hating on other people who's doing it and they ain't doing it. And they hating on them because that's that King of Wands energy or Queen of Wands energy in the reversal position. They're not betting on themselves. And instead of understanding why they're not betting on themselves, instead it's easy to say, well, they didn't earn it, or it was handed, they didn't earn it, or it was handed to them, or they got lucky. To me, that's like a thing that a hater loves to say, how somebody got lucky. A hater loves to talk about how somebody got lucky. But with the King of Wands and the octopus energy coming out together, it brings me to how two things could be true. How this person might be a op and don't wish you well, but how the universe could use them to get you wherever it is that you're going. And this is where it's important to trust. And in order to hear our intuition clearly, it's important for us to detach ourselves from things, so that we could hear and see everything clearly and not be confused and deluded by our own emotions or how the way we think certain things should be. It was a pleasure sharing this message with you, and I would love to hear from you. And you could do that by dropping me a white heart in the comment box below. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.